Point me in. Good morning, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the rest of the world. You have tuned in to the Mac City Morning Show. I am your host, Elliot Pierre, and we're going to start it off the same way we start off every show, with a moment of gratitude. I can't tell you how much it warms my heart that you have decided to spend this time with us. I know you could be doing a million other things, so it really does warm my heart that this is how you've chosen to spend your time. On that note, Tanner, hit him with the intro.
How's she cotton, me loves? You're listening to the Mac City Morning Show.
All right. Now, our guest today, me and him have spoken many times. He's a loud talker, just like myself, so we're not going to have any issues with volume today. You might actually want to turn your phone down a little bit. As per usual, I don't introduce my guests because they can do a better job at that than I can. So on that note, sir, please introduce yourself to the world. Tell them who you are and what you're about.
Hey, Mac. My name is Ashleigh, one of the owners at Accel Physical Therapy. Funny you mentioned that, I am a bit loud, but I just recently got hearing aids.
Oh!
It was a process. I went through Department of Veterans Affairs because I had some hearing loss. And you don't realize how loud you are until you get hearing aids.
Right.
And so all my colleagues, friends, family, they're like, wow, Ashleigh's much lower these days, and it's the hearing aids. I unbelievable. I didn't know it would have an impact on how loud that I actually am.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, dude, I'm so glad you said that
Yeah.
because I thought you were acting a bit weird.
No, it's the hearing aids. I'm not kidding.
Because I was just like, man, Ashleigh is not like as loud as he normally is. Like, is he nervous or something?
They all say it in the clinic too. They're like, is Ashleigh here today?
Yeah.
He's in the back. Yeah, he's there. Oh yeah, he's there. Yeah, it is. It's the hearing. I'm not kidding with you.
I believe you.
Because you don't realize how loud you are until your hearing is corrected.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Tanner,
Kind of cool.
I think you and I need to get hearing aids, buddy.
What?
Because, I'm a loud talker, and I do have some hearing damage in my left ear. Tanner was saying he has some hearing loss as well, and maybe that is why we talk so loud.
I'm telling you, it's changed me.
Yeah.
And I hear things now that
Wow.
in music too, right? I'm a music lover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some of the stuff that you know, when you listen to, say, like Fleetwood Mac,
Right.
you know what I mean? That the little tones in the background,
Right.
in the mid-range,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, I was missing them. And then when I heard them, I was like, I haven't heard this in years.
That's
So
amazing.
really kind of cool.
Cool.
Really
Now,
kinda
you said something. You got them through Veteran Affairs. Let's
Yes.
talk about that. Let's
Sure.
go back, way back in time. I know it's been a while, but still, that's part of your history. So
Yep.
let's talk about the service that you've done.
I was a teenager, first year university, wanted a part-time job. Friends of mine were reservists. So I said, you know what? I'm going to join the Army.
Yeah.
Hoorah. They said, do you like camping? I said, I love camping.
Yeah.
It was nothing like camping, by the way. I remember my first time sitting in a trench, pouring rain. It was May, rain / slush / freezing your butt off.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there with a baked potato in one hand and a piece of meat in the other because I had forgot my plate. And so we're lined up to get our food, and I just took it in my greasy hands, gloves, soaking wet, and I'm sitting there going, this isn't like camping.
No.
This is not like camping at all.
Yeah.
So went through basic training in Newfoundland as a reservist, and traveled to New Brunswick to do some leadership training and stuff like that. I end up applying for the regular forces under their regular officer training plan, and I was a master corporal then. And so then I took my commission and became a commissioned officer and did the leadership training in Gagetown, New Brunswick as an infantry officer.
Yeah.
To be posted to the Royal Canadian Regiment, Pro Patria. And I ended up getting injured, realizing, okay, this is not where I want to take my career. So in 2004, I decided to get out and pursue a career elsewhere. And now here I am.
There you go. So you got into physical therapy.
I did. I got into physical therapy, yep.
So where did you go to school?
Dalhousie.
Okay.
Yeah, got in the
Very
Dal.
nice
Went to St. Mary's. My heart will always be, I'll always be a St. Marian at heart. A beautiful school. I started out at MUN. I ended up meeting a girl in Halifax, moving to Halifax, and you know how it goes.
Yeah.
And finished my degree, transferred my credits to St. Mary's in beautiful Halifax, and then through the forces, did my time, and then I got out. And there's days I miss it. You know, I kind of wish that I had to stick around because my regiment went to Afghanistan, of course, a year later.
Okay.
And that was, you know, every Remembrance Day, you see the faces flash up on the screen. You know, the 156 soldiers died, and I knew or worked with about 30 of them.
Yeah.
So some of them were warrant officers that instructed me.
Right.
So that was kind of always hits home. Remembrance Day is always a big day. Even when you leave the military never really leaves you.
Right.
You know, it's
Right.
yeah. Went to the Dalhousie as a physiotherapist. I got in. A whole other funny story, but I was persistent.
Right.
Did the interview, and you know, did well with the interview. It was a structured interview. You know, your HR background, so
Yeah.
the structured interview, 6 questions, that was it.
Right.
No fuzz with it at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had flown from Newfoundland, because I was back in Newfoundland at that time. Flown from Newfoundland to Halifax for the interview, and I get there and they ask me 6 questions, and I answer the 6 questions, and the interview is done in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got way more stuff to tell you about me. I need this. I'm built for this role. I'm physically fit.
Yeah.
I'm mentally strong. This is where I want to help people. Right?
Yeah.
So I was very upset with the interview process. So months and months and months later,
Yeah.
waiting on the call to see if I got in, and I get an email saying you've been waitlisted. So I was like, oh, okay, what does that mean? So I called the school, and it says right on the application, don't call the school.
Yeah.
But
Hey.
I'm not one for following rules.
No.
So I called the school pretty much every Monday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, and Judith was the administrator for the dean, and I called so often that she actually knew who I was. She goes, "Good morning, Ashleigh. How you doing this morning?" And I was like, "Hey, Judith, how are you? Where am I at on the wait list?" And she goes, "You're still number 6."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I remember calling one morning. It was in August. And she said, Ashleigh, some people have dropped off the list. We're going through the wait list right now. We'll let you know. And maybe 2 hours later, I get a phone call. And it's Dr. Sandy Rennie. So at this point, I know who Dr. Sandy Rennie is because I've been doing my research. I knew who the head of the faculty was.
Right.
So I'm like, hello? And he's like, hey, it's Dr. Sandy Rennie. So I'm thinking that this is one of my buddies messing with me, right?
Right.
So I start quizzing this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
hey, Dr. Rennie, like, you know, what is your background? And I'm on my laptop, right? And he said, well, you know, I did this and that and this, and you know, I work in Saskatchewan. I did some stuff with the Rough Riders and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, this is
the guy.
This is the guy, right?
Yeah.
So he says to me, he says, I hear you're interested in a seat with the physiotherapy program.
Yeah.
I was like, I am. And he says, well, I'm going to send you a formal email. You have to accept that email. I said, no formal emails needed. Write me down. Jot me in. I am your man. And
Yeah.
he goes, no. He said, you have to answer that email. So
Yeah.
I was like, listen, I'd like to thanks for the call. And
Yeah.
it was a pretty cool moment
That
for me.
is awesome, man.
And so
That's a
history,
really cool story.
my whole life literally was down one path and poof, off
the
onto
next.
another path. Yeah. So it was kind of cool.
Yeah. What part of Newfoundland are you from?
I grew up in Placentia Bay, a little town called Southern Harbor, about 1,000 people.
Yeah.
My father was disabled. My mom was a secretary.
Yeah.
She had actually sliced her thumb off in a workplace accident in a fish plant,
Okay.
and WCB put her through schooling.
Right.
But there was nothing in that community for her to work at, so my parents decided to give up their land where I grew up.
Right.
And at the age of 12, we moved to the big city of St. John's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my backyard in Newfoundland was the ocean. I
Right.
woke up and on the back deck, I could throw a rock from my back deck into the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Whales, tankers as well.
Yeah.
Because big oil industry there in Newfoundland.
That's right.
Where all the tankers come in, they come into a place called Whiffen's Head, actually.
Oh, look at that. Isn't
Yeah,
that fitting?
Well, it was my 5th great grandfather's land.
Okay.
So Whiffen's Head, yeah. So that's where the oil comes in through there.
Neat.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
So
it
that's
is.
what I grew up with. Big harbor in the background, and
Yeah.
so moved to St. John's. St. John's, a beautiful city.
I love St. John's.
Yeah,
I like, well, obviously, George Street.
yeah,
It's my favorite street.
yeah,
Followed by Water Street, though. I
yeah,
really like Water Street a lot. Yeah, I've
yeah.
got,
I'm a big Signal Hill guy.
yeah,
I used to jog.
that's a good run. That's a good run.
I used to run a lot when I was. So I lived up by the Village Mall, and I don't know if you know town,
I
but
do, yeah.
Village Mall is quite a jaunt away.
It is.
And I was big into running. I played soccer, and when my first couple of years, I still lived with mom and dad, and when I was in the military, so I was big in the running, and I used to run from my house up by the Village Mall
Yeah.
down to Kitty Vitty.
Right?
Beautiful, beautiful run.
Yeah.
Around Kitty Vitty, up the backside of Kitty Vitty, up Signal Hill,
Yeah.
around Signal Hill, and then down
Down Signal Hill.
up Water Street.
Oh, okay.
Right,
That's a heck
then
of
back
a run,
home.
man.
A little over 10 mile.
Yeah.
And it was a good run. It was a
Yeah.
fun run, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I always had fun doing it. And sometimes I'd drag along a friend and they'd hate me for it, right?
Yeah.
Especially the Signal Hill part because it's
Right.
pretty much 500 meters straight up.
Straight up. That's it. When
Yeah.
I used to run outside, which has been years, and I would travel to Newfoundland because I've been there so many times, that would be the run. I would stay at the Delta Hotel.
Yeah.
So I'd run from the Delta, and then not as far, obviously.
Yep.
And run to the Delta, come up, and then go down the back end, and then come right up back to the Delta. It was a good run. Definitely nothing in comparison to the kilometers you were putting in, but
Well, about 10 mile.
Yeah.
A little over 10 mile. I dry clocked it one time in my mom's car
yeah.
and it came to about 16 kilometers.
So then the next part of this, though, is St. John's,
Yeah.
right? And then we go to Halifax.
Beautiful
And then you find
Halifax.
yourself in Fort McMurray. You've been here for a long time, man.
2011.
Yeah,
May
buddy.
of 2011, buddy.
Yeah, you've been here
Yeah.
a long time now.
Yeah, love it here.
So
I'm going to retire here.
I love hearing it. So you get into physical therapy. You're a physical therapist in town, and then you decide to open up your own clinic.
Yeah. Well,
talk about-
I started at the hospital, Alberta Health Services.
Oh, really?
So that's the reason I kind of attracted me here. So I actually got a job in Sault Ste. Marie.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you this. Nobody knows this stuff. 'Cause
Okay.
I've never ever told anyone.
All right, let's hear about it.
But the Sault Ste. Marie is actually, there's an American side to Sault Ste. Marie. And they just built a new hospital. So it was an American hospital on the American side, right? So I had applied for jobs all across Canada. And I want to say 30 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an interview with Eastern Health, so Newfoundland, the Sault Ste. Marie, and they offered me a job. And of course, Fort McMurray. Now, why was Fort McMurray so attractive? I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Because they paid me. They paid me to move out here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
right.
And I'm coming out of school going, I got 100,000 in debt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, where am I going to go that I can put a dent in my student debt as fast as possible?
Right.
And so Alberta Health Services offered me an exceptional recruitment package, and the components of a good recruitment package is
Yeah.
attract, retain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
So I was attracted to it. They gave me 6 months free living.
Yeah.
They paid for my move. And something else. They subsidized something else. I can't even remember what it was right now. But it was lucrative enough for me to say,
Yeah.
this might be the right thing to do. So I did a year at the hospital.
Yeah.
And I was working part-time at a private practice clinic.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got into the private practice clinic part-time that I realized I'm not built for the hospital.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's not.
Yeah, it's two different streams, man.
Oh, it's way different, buddy. Now I respect all the physios that work at a hospital.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a place for everyone, but I'm more bing, 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 boom. I'm more high-paced. I don't want to just get you out the door, get you home, get you safe. No way. I want to see the end of this rehab. I want to see it right to the end. I want to get you back on the football field. I want to get you back in the truck. I want to get you back doing to what you were doing prior to your injury, right? Whereas at the hospital, it was more getting them to a safe level, back into the community, get them out of the hospital. It wasn't really me.
Yeah.
So I decided to, after a year with the hospital, I decided, okay, I'm going to go work private practice, and it's
the way to go.
Oh well, I knew I would like it. I did the placements in school, and I knew private practice would be something that I was attracted to, right?
Yeah. So then you transitioned into being a business owner. So what made you want to be a business owner, my man?
I was getting to a point in my life where I knew I was old enough. I knew I had enough life experience. I had enough leadership experience. Um, I had enough courses to say that, you know what, I can do this successfully. And so I partnered up with my partner, Angie Martin, and we sat and had some chats and said, listen, you know, what do we want to do here? And we came up with this plan, and bada boom, bada bing, we opened Accel.
There you go.
Yeah.
And now you got 2 locations in town.
Two locations.
Where are
yeah.
these locations, man? You got to tell the people.
Yeah, so the first location is on Millennium Drive. It's next to the barber shop. Everybody knows where the Millennium Barber Shop is.
Okay.
And if you don't, then you know where the motor vehicle registry is.
Yeah.
A nice wide open location, lots of parking. We got backdoor parking, backdoor access, big bright windows. It's a beautiful clinic. As soon as I walked in there, my contractor had called me and said, Ashleigh, you have to see this place. And so I went in and I saw this place, and I remember Angie was in Edmonton doing something, I can't remember. And I called her, I said, listen, I'm going to take a video. You've got to see this place.
Right.
This is where we're going to retire. And so, and the rest was history, right?
That's
and we got so busy, like unbelievable. Like we started out, it was just Angie and myself. Emily Bonaparte was our office manager.
Right.
And Ashleigh Como was our registered massage therapist. It was
Right.
4 of us.
Yeah.
Right? And now there's 22 of us.
That's
right?
awesome.
That's
man.
insane, right?
That
You know what I mean?
is
To go
insane.
from, you know, such a small little company
Right.
to growing overnight, like, and it is overnight as far as I'm concerned, right? Because 5 years, our 5-year anniversary is actually coming up in March.
Oh, congratulations,
in a couple weeks.
man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty pumped.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
That is cool, man.
Yeah.
No, listen, being a business owner in town, like, not just in this town, any town, it's tough.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
gotta, it's a lot of work. You gotta be brave to do it, and you gotta put in the hours.
Well, the thing is Angie and I don't just run the business, you know?
Right, you're practicing.
We're practicing.
Physical therapist,
Right?
Yeah.
I have the busiest caseload at the clinic. Like I said, I've done a bunch of courses, and you know, 2000. This, you know, when we look at 2020, a lot of people look at it. Oh, COVID. You know, COVID was really, really hard on us, and it is. It has been hard. It's been hard on us all.
Right.
But you know what? I'm going to be honest with you, buddy. I took the opportunity to step back,
Yeah.
get centered. Right? I forgot what roses smell like, buddy.
Yeah.
Right? And so I started really getting centered and really starting to go, okay, wait a second, right? This is an opportunity for me to, you know, trickle charge the old battery here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As tough as it was, you know, because I haven't been home to see my kids in a year, and I FaceTime them every day. Thank God for technology. But you know, when I think about the past year, I wrote my diploma. I completed my diploma in manual therapy.
Yeah.
So I achieved that this year, which is a pretty big deal for physical therapists. So now I have a fellowship with the Canadian Academy of Manual Therapists, which is really kind of cool.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Good achievement.
So I can supervise now, and even teach at a university level, I guess, and help out with labs and stuff. And I don't know if that's where ideally that's where I'd like to take my career as I transition into retirement.
Right.
Is to take some young people under my wing and you know, show them the ropes. And I really don't ever see myself retiring, to be honest. I can see myself hobbling into a classroom.
Yeah. Love it.
With a cane, right?
Love it. Well, listen, man, we're at the part of the show where Tanner takes over for a second. Tanner, you're up. It's called the Mac City Minute. This kid's going to put you a bit on the hot spot. I don't know what he's going to ask, but get ready for it. Tanner, Mac City Minute.
Question number 1. What is the one thing you excel at most when it comes to physical therapy?
I'm going to tell you something right now. I like your play on words, by the way. I think it's rapport. I really do. You know what? My manual therapy skills are great. I can manipulate every joint in your body, but that skill is great. And to teach other people that skill is also great. And it's so rewarding. You know what I mean? When you get a neck that's kinked up a little bit and you just dink, pop, that is rewarding. But I'll tell you, I think what has made me successful is that rapport and that level of trust that I can establish with a patient. And I think, and I got a friendly personality as well, and that's what I think. I think if you were to ask this question to a handful of my patients,
That's what
I'd say that's what they would say. I don't think that they would say you know what, it's his ability to manipulate my neck.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? I think they would say it's that he reassures me that this is okay and that, yeah, it's okay to feel this, and he pushes me and I trust what he's doing.
There
You know
you
what I
go.
mean? I think that's what it is.
There you go.
Question number 2. What is your best memory from your time in the Army?
Oh, buddy, my God, buddy, that is there's so many awesome memories from the Army, buddy. Something that will always stick with me. We were out. I was on my Phase 3 infantry. It was in the winter. It was winter combat training, and I remember we were out on a reconnaissance patrol, and it was the wind chill was something like -45. And it was frigid, you know, it was cold. And 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're out snowshoeing through this stuff, and we get to what's called the objective rendezvous. And so the leaders, they do a leaders recce, and so they leave us in an area, and so we lie down all in a circle, and we cross each other's legs, and we're facing out with our rifles. And I just remember how calm and surreal it was, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, the wind was blowing, you could hear the trees banging against each other. We're all lying there, and it's just so silent. And the reconnaissance group, the leaders recce, they got lost. And so an hour turned to 2 hours, turned to 3 hours. And the guy next to me, I can't even remember his name, it was a French guy, but I could hear his teeth chattering. Right? Because there's no sound. We're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? They dropped us off in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the woods, in nowhere. And I just remember, and we'd have our legs all crossed, so we kick each other, keep each other awake. And I just remember chatter. So I give him a little kick, and yeah, he was fine. And chatter. Another hour goes by, and we're now out lying in the snow in -45 for the better part of 4 hours now. Yeah. And it's getting cold, buddy. I'm telling you, like when you lie in the snow, your elbows ache. And I don't care what kind of gear you're wearing. You're lying in the snow holding a bang stick. You're cold. And I just remember the chattering stopped. And I was like, he must have fell asleep. So I kicked him. And then I called over and I was like, hey. And he goes, I just want to take a nap. And at that point I realized, oh man, this guy's in hypothermia right now. And so I was like, oh God, boys, he's in hypothermia right now. So I said, you need to put him on top of me and somebody pile on. And then somebody needs to go get the sergeant. Somebody needs to go get help, whatever you need to do. So we haul this young French fellow over on top of me, and then a couple of guys lay on top of him. And I'm telling you, buddy, you don't realize hypothermia until you see hypothermia, right? And he was dazed, he was confused, and just a mess. And then a couple of boys ran off, discharged their weapons to bring attention, right? Because this was a no-duff situation. This is a get this guy out of here. Sergeant comes down, and sure enough, this guy gets taken out in the Jeep, and he didn't come back on the course. He ended up in second stage hypothermia.
Oh.
So that was a great moment. I got lots of great moments, man. I could talk all day.
Yeah.
But that was a moment that I'll always seem to remember, right?
You gave me a heart attack there when you said he didn't come back.
Oh,
And
no,
then,
no,
thank
no.
goodness
no.
you said
He
second
was okay.
stages.
He was
Jeez
okay. But he
Louise.
spent 3 days in the hospital.
All right, Tanner, hit him with the other question. My heart can't take this one anymore.
Question number 3. What is your favorite part of helping people with their physical health?
My favorite part? You know what? My favorite part is when if I'm doing something with them, like say breaking up scar tissue, if I'm moving a joint that is just a little bit cranky, and as you're tearing scar tissue or whatever you're doing, adhesions, the pain is not good. It really isn't.
Right.
And just reassuring them that this is normal. This is we need to do this to get the joint moving, and having them kind of just like hate you in that moment, but then at the end of the day, love you. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Right? It's you hate me now, you'll love me tomorrow. I promise you.
There you go.
Question number 4. What did you take from the Army that you use in your new career?
Well, you know what? I'm proficient on a machine gun, but I don't get to use it. I shoot. I still shoot as a hobby. But that's nothing to do with my career. I think it's the people skills, the leadership. You know what I mean? Knowing, you know what I mean? You look at the leadership principles. It's very basic, right? Lead by example. I mean, that applies to everyone as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Seek and accept responsibility. That applies to everyone. That's not just infantry officers. That applies to everyone. You know what I mean? So the leadership principles, that actual formal leadership training with the Canadian Army. I love the Canadian Army. I always will, and I'll always support them. I got a profound respect for a lot of the boys. I still follow them, a couple of them on Facebook, and I watching their careers. There's guys that I serve with who are generals right now, you know what I mean? And the guys that I serve with who are sergeant majors. And so it was really kind of cool to see, okay, here I am, a civilian, you know what I mean? And here they are, they're still, at the grind, you know what I mean? And, but I think it's the leadership. It's definitely the leadership.
And your final question, what is your best moment from working in physical therapy?
My best moment working in physical therapy. I'm going to tell you, opening up Accel. What a great moment. What it just, lots of hard work, right? It was just, you're working one job and then you finish that job and you do everything there. And then you're scooting down to, finish the clinic or put together a desk or, paint something or fix something, you know what I mean? Just to get the doors open and going through that whole process. I know it has nothing to do with physical therapy, you know what I mean? But the actual process of building something and then watching it grow, I think that's been the highlight of my career so far.
There you go.
Those have been your 5 questions.
Sweet. All right, man. Well, listen, you and me could talk for hours. The show's only 20 minutes long. I can assure you we already went over it. Tanner, what are we at?
26.
26. So we're going to wrap it up. So before you leave, everybody gets a shameless shout out. Plug your company. Who are you? How can people get in contact with you? Go.
Guys, Accel Physical Therapy. If you don't know anything about physical therapy, just type in physical therapy on Google. Okay. Read the reviews. Look at us on Facebook. We've got 2 locations, 8 physical therapists, 7 registered massage therapists. We're doing some great things. We give back to the community. We have all the contracts with the major sports teams here. We're just doing good things, and you know what? We love what we do, and it shows. When you come to the clinic, you're going to be, oh wow, the atmosphere here. That's what we get the most shouts out about, the atmosphere. So Accel Physical Therapy, ACCEL, Accel Physical Therapy. Come see us.
Sweet, man. All right. Well, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the rest of the world, that has been another Mac City Morning Show. I'm your host, Elliot Pierre. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. It really does warm my heart. Hopefully you're having a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.
I said this. That's another Mac City Morning Show done.
It's so ballistic!
Talk about quenching your ugly thirst.